Welcome back, friends. In this video we'll be discussing about the PowerShell Profiles and ISE, and how to create the custom profiles for the current user and also for the all users, and how can we use ISE, and also a few testing actually we'll be doing. So hope we have already practiced the previous videos and all the commands. So considering that, we continue with this video. So in this video, as mentioned, so we will be talking about the profiles and ISE. So what is profile? Is nothing but like a Windows profile. So maybe all administrators, so you know what is a profile. So for each user there is a customized profile. User account profiles will be creating in Windows for a login, and the user can specifically user related or user specific files will be able to keep it in the profiles, and user can set their own configurations in it. And similarly for the Windows PowerShell also we have profiles. We can create a profile, and nothing in the default profile, it is actually for the user. It is stored in a variable called profiles. So to see that in the PowerShell, you can just type $profile. It is $profile. So by default, if you see here, you can see this is the PowerShell, the PS1 PowerShell script. It is nothing but a normal script only, and it is stored actually in the user profile and the documents and Windows PowerShell. So this is the default path actually for profiles, and this is for the user profile. So when we talk about the profile a little more, and in case if by default this is not created, and you will be able to create it actually, and how to create it. So before let's go as a file creation. So let's say now we already discussed in the last video, so how to create actually the a new file. It is new item, and item type is file, and path is, in this case actually it is specifically profile, and we can have the parameter called force. So by default, I mean it will get created actually here and in this path, and this is the file name, and you can go and see here. So this is the path actually which we are discussing about, and this today's date, it is already saved a new profile, and it is with a 0 KB. So this profile is actually loaded when you start actually the the PowerShell, and as a default option or default profile, it will be loaded. And in case if this is not present, then the global profile will be loaded here. So that is actually the way of working in the profiles here. And why we need to use it actually here? So if you would like to for example, now you are working with multiple modules in a scripting scenario, and you would like to load multiple modules maybe when you start the PowerShell window. So in such scenarios, and maybe many more options, or maybe many more scenarios, you can use it, but just an example. So this is one of the example, and I would like to load more or 2-3 modules when we start actually the PowerShell. So we can have these configurations in the PowerShell profile, and so this is how we can create the new profile. And then what we can do is that you can add multiple the commands or whatever you needed, so you can add into this particular file. And if you would like to set this particular profile for all the users, so you can have this. There is an additional option here. So if you create this way along with the profile, and there is dot all users all host. So if you do this way, there will be another file will be created, and that is the default one for all the users. So that is you can see this is the profile, and this is the profile path, and this is under System 32 and Windows PowerShell, and we have seen this path in the previous video. and here there will be something called profile.ps1 is created. So this is actually the global profile for all the users, and the first one is actually the one for the custom profile for the user. And here the first thing about the profile and how will work further. So here we talked about how to configure the file for the current user and how to configure for the for all users and what is profiles. So now let's talk about PowerShell ISE. So that is nothing but the integrated scripting environment. So that is a full form of ISE, and ISE is also inbuilt actually in the Windows clients or server operating systems. So to launch that, you can have multiple ways. So in if you are already in PowerShell, and you can just say ISE and enter, and this will load the ISE for us, since it is the first time taking a little more time, but yeah, so this is actually called Windows PowerShell, and this is the error that is fine, because I had a previous profile which I have deleted and for this video. And this is the Windows PowerShell ISE, and you can see here to get familiar with. So going forward we can work actually in the ISE, and I will tell you what. So to start with, actually we have multiple menus here, and so you have multiple usages for each of them, and that is fine. We can enable view multiple toolbars and also edit find script and some debugging tools and etc. So that is fine. And here this field is actually for set whatever you are seeing the blank space here. So this is where you will be writing the script, and the below here this will be the default one, how it looks like, and this is a place where the script will execute whatever you are actually writing here. And the right side you can see the commands, and where it is all the modules are actually loaded and included here. And then what you can do, if you would like to search for any commands, it will actually show from this list, and you can have actually the details here, and you will be able to do multiple things here, and they can find what exactly the property and also the parameters, and an example also you will be getting here, and you will be able to copy these particular commands and use it actually, and multiple things you can do from here. And going back to the previous so in this is all over the working space in ISE, and so here we type the command and press enter, and the same way if you do here enter, and this will actually run the command. And when you talk about the ISE, if you press enter, nothing will happen, because this is not executing at present, and you need to actually run the script from here. And if you have multiple lines here, and you can just select this and click this particular button for the run selection button, where you can run only this particular which is highlighted or which is selected. And when you run this, actually it will run the it will execute the entire commands listed here. So now you can see the display here, and this is where actually the output we will get the output. And in this case now what we can do is we can just close this and say no, and here ISE space. And one more thing before we start with that, and you can go to start menu, and if you can search for ISE, and you will get the ISE, or maybe you can search for the PowerShell and you will get the PowerShell ISE, and you can do run as administrator, same as the other one. And here, since it is already in administrator mode, and you can type ISE space $profile. So this is where actually the it is already loaded now. You can see in the subject here. So this is loaded the profile file what we created. So we can type get-date and just save it and close this and open it again. and this is the global one. It is actually displaying about the the error, so that we can ignore it, not a problem. And here get date is already saved here, and what we will do is we'll close this and PowerShell and right click and run as administrator. Yes, and it is nothing but the profile file is actually not loaded, and there is an issue. So what we need to do is, in this case, actually we need to go to this particular path and see what is the content and what is the file. So this is the one actually we created today, and part of our testing, right? So you can see the date here, and so this is the date. So this is a newly one created, and so currently we need to do actually the testing here, actually, instead of so this is actually the file, and what we can do is get date, we can mention here and save it and close this, and let's try again. So here you can see it is nothing but the prerequisite is actually not set. So now you can see this is actually because of the execution policy which we discussed in the last video. So we set to actually digitally signed certificates or digitally signed scripts you can execute. So here get execution policy, it is all signed. So I'm just setting execution policy to unrestricted for this particular and A. And if we load the the ISE profile now, you can see the error is actually gone, and so it is actually good. Yeah, it is actually working fine. And this is nothing but actually when you now we can do one more testing here and close this and close this. Now again PowerShell, and we are just opening the PowerShell as an administrator, and UAC opening. You can see here it is displaying 2 times. Why? Because this is actually loading from 2 places. So one is nothing but the profile and local profile, and also the global profile. So global profile also we set actually the get date, and even the user profile also set actually get date. So that is the reason actually it is showing both the dates here 2 times. And so for what we'll do is actually profile dot all users or hosts, and we can just delete this and save this, close. Again we can try to open the PowerShell as administrator, and now you can see this is only loading 1 time, because this is actually loading from the first one. So this is actually from the user profile. So in case if you would like actually to run some commands or execute some command for all the users, so this is how actually we can set accordingly. And if I want to set default some something I would like to display while opening it. So you have seen previously that in our video, so it is loading some information. So I have a sample here, so where we can see I'm just writing something, and the right host is nothing but it is a display something in the screen, to write something in the screen. And if you see here, execute this, so welcome to the host name. This is nothing but the computer host name, and then you are logged in as it will actually the dollar environment dollar or quote you are logged in as the dot environment colon the username. So this will actually will fetch the logged in username from the computer, and then today is whatever the date, and it is setting the location as C prompt, and then another command, nothing command, it is actually the this is the PowerShell 5 is the version now running. So this particular command is running here. It is fetching the PowerShell version here, and then it is actually saying waiting for your commands. So you can set anything along with this, and maybe the foreground color and anything you can set here, maybe dark green. And if you run this, you can see the changes, and this way actually you can save this in this particular profile and close this and close this, and then what you can do, PowerShell again run as administrator and UAC open, yes. So you can see here. So this is what actually I was showing in the previous videos, an example. So this is actually loading from your profile. So this way you can set anything, actually import module hyphen whatever the modules you would like to import into this particular session every time when you log into the PowerShell, or you can load any commands and anything for the user profile or the global profile. So you hope you understood actually the the scenario and in this particular topic, and please practice, and you can set your own profiles and everything, and let me know in case if you have any comments or any feedback how to improve. And please support, keep watching, and thanks for watching the video, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.